Michael Crawford wasn't Andrew Lloyd Webber's first Phantom of the Opera. He wasn't even the second. Let's get into it, because I'm Jessica, I write Phantom books, and this is Phantober, where I'm talking about a different version of the Phantom of the Opera every day in October, and we're finally talking about the Lloyd Webber version, which took a while to become what it became. Let's go. This version exists because Lloyd Webber was working to produce a version of the Ken Hill Phantom of the Opera for the West End. He was even working with Richard Sharman, who had directed the Rocky Horror Show. But he encouraged Lloyd Webber to lean into the romance of the story and write his own music for it, which he did after reading the original book, and running the idea by his first major collaborator for the project, Hal Prince, the legendary director who made Phantom so much of what it was. He was also working with Cameron Mackintosh, the super producer. And Andrew Lloyd Webber really wanted to write a romance. Phantom would be a perfect vehicle for this, and a perfect showcase for his new wife, Sarah Brightman. No matter how many Phantoms he went through, Sarah was always his Christine. Lloyd Webber wrote the first act with Richard Stilgoe as his lyricist. He had worked with him on Starlight Express, the roller skating trains musical. The fact that he went from that to Phantom is mind-blowing. And he premiered the first act at the Sydmonton Festival, which is sort of his own personal out-of-town tryouts that he put on every summer at his estate in Sydmonton. It was in an old church. The designer at Sydmonton at that time was Maria Bjornson, who would go on to design the show when it came to the West End. She even got a chandelier to fall at the end of Act 1. Our Phantom at Sydmonton was Colm Wilkinson. You can kind of make out his very shiny mask here. Colm wasn't able to originate the role of the Phantom in the West End. He was too busy doing another angsty Frenchman musical. He did eventually play the part in Toronto. The Sydmonton Phantom was good, but not great. Lloyd Webber kept on testing the waters with Phantom, priming the public and trying to find the right people to make it. In 1985, that meant releasing the title song as a single and a music video, with Sarah as Christine, of course, and Steve Harley of the brand Cockney Rebel as the Phantom. They were still into the shiny masks thing, I don't know what to tell you. The video is wonderfully weird, but Steve wouldn't get to play the Phantom on stage. But Lloyd Webber still needed to find a lyricist. Initially, he was talking to Alan J. Lerner of Lerner and Lowe, you know, the people who did My Fair Lady, but illness kept him from the project. Lloyd Webber eventually settled on an unknown for the lyrics, Charles Hart, who auditioned with lyrics for Think of Me, and he didn't even know what the song was supposed to be about. Then we finally had to find our Phantom. Obviously, they went with a guy who was best known for comic roles like Hello Dolly. Michael Crawford was a known name in Britain, but he was regarded as a comedian, even though he had done a lot of theater. But he had the voice, and the production had faith in him, and the results were iconic. Gillian Lynn, who had worked with Lloyd Webber on Cats, joined, and together this dream team made Phantom of the Opera what it was, or what it became. This lavish music was complemented by lavish sets and incredible effects like the chandelier, and it was immediately successful, of course. That was in October of 1986. Plans were soon put into place to transfer the production to Broadway. The problem was that while Phantom was in the public domain in the UK, another composer and another musical had the rights in America, but only for 1 year. It was going to be a race to see which composer could get their Phantom to Broadway first. We'll talk about the other one tomorrow.